All right, so today we are going to be diving into a couple of things. We're going to be diving into how to quote unquote predict the market, and then we're going to be diving into some conditions and factors. We're going to be building a trading model, just so you can see what kind of goes on behind the scenes and how it actually makes us money in the markets. So I'm going to log into my Top Step. Just give me a second. All right, so I'll be we'll get to this. I'll be completely transparent with you guys. I am currently down 1K on this account, 37 win rate. Y'all, I'm just going through it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm actually just going through it. Like, it's been so terrible. I've been trying to make so many changes and adaptations, but it's all good. How do I gauge whether a trend is strong or not, especially when around the open? I think that, okay, yeah, so that was a question I asked myself. So we're gonna go to our favorite fan. This is, if you're going to be a trader, this is what you're gonna use pretty often. Let me pause this and get into my actual ChatGPT. Give me a second, y'all. All right, so ChatGPT, this is what you use. It's where I ask primarily most of my questions, but we can go ahead and how can I think? We can go ahead and compile a lot of information. We have about a couple of should I move myself over here? No, I'm good. All right. Trade docs. Futures market files. All right. So just to prove that I'm not actually buns and that I have a decent resume in the market, the reason why we have to build a trade model, we have to build how we're gonna predict the market and what way we're going to systematically analyze the market. Sorry for all the screenshots in the background. Is because of this. When I used to trade the stock market, which is actual stocks like General Motors, what I would do is I would analyze a stock's patterns on a 1-day interval, 4-hour interval, 1-hour interval, 30-minute interval, and so on. And what this did was allow me to analyze a stock. I was able to get their average return every time a stock went from oversold to overbought, and transition from those points, so that every time I saw those transitions, I saw that the market was giving me confirmation that we were rising out of these price points off of support and resistance. It was a whole deal. Then I enter in the market, and I can assume over an average of 10 days, 9.4 days, that I'm going to get an average return of 7.7%. So if I put $100 in, then I was going to get $107.70, etc. And then if you want to put options in, then you get a little bit of some different returns if you can handle that. And so you can see, let me check what time dates I'm looking at. Like, look at this example right here, right? On the 1-hour time frame, I'm seeing these red dots are all these transitions. Let me try to zoom in a little bit more. All these transitions in price. And I mark this current transition, and I see that we're headed towards oversold. On this very next screenshot, as you can see, we start to get confirmation that, hey, the market's going to start pushing up from this red line. Jeez, I cannot even zoom. From this red line that you see, that's above price, and then a blue line. I'm going to explain what all these things are if I can, because we're going to have about an hour here. Yeah, my videos are not going to be like screen bite. It's going to be some real meat to it. All right. So I had a fundamental understanding of the stock market and how I could accurately gauge the condition and predict the broader price action of the stock market. And I went into the futures market thinking that I had to make no changes. I was very wrong. So there are a couple things you gotta ask ourselves when we're transitioning into a different place as a trader. Conditions. Importance of time. We had to think about the importance of time. Conditions, importance of time. How the market moves. And then this is for me specifically because I have two models. I have a fade model. I love to fade. That's originally what I basically did, which was fade the downtrend moves, uptrend, the uptrend moves to downtrend. And they were essentially continuation off of confirmation that we already were reversing, but I would consider them a fade model. When to fade / continue. How to gauge price action for continuation / fading. Sorry, I can't spell, y'all. All right, so we need to know the conditions of the market. We need to know the ports of time in the market. We need to know how exactly does a market move. We need to know when to fade and when to continue. We need to know how to gauge price action for continuation and fading. How to build biases or trading plans. So I stopped making trading plans because I was trying to nitpick the very small moves in the market that I should make a lot of money on. Very unreasonable. And so I could have 3 million trading plans in one day, and then I end up over trading and losing a lot of money, which I've done on a lot of my accounts now. And so now I'm remaking that realization after coming off of 1K weeks, and now having these accounts be blown. It's a big change and transition. So had to build biases or trading plans, not or, but and trading plans. Is this all we need to know? We'll look through all my ChatGPT stuff. So conditions, right? When we're taking a look at conditions inside the futures market, we need to look at what we call auction market theory, and I'll try to briefly explain this. We're not even going to look at market open for a second. Well, we should have 30 minutes, and then we need to head to the charts. But auction market theory. All right. Auction market theory explains market movement as a continuous two-way auction process where participants seek to establish fair value for asset moving from periods of price balance to imbalance, often driven by new information. So, you'll see auction market theory often talked about with a volume profile. So, something like this. Shoot. Can I not enlarge this? I don't want to look at all this. Okay, there we go. Right? So, the market goes into balance. Market's in balance, meaning that we're pretty much at the same price. We agree on this price. Then the market moves out of balance into new balance, out of balance into new balance, right? Out of balance into new balance, and then you see that we start to transition out of this balance right here. We start to transition this balance upwards, and then this is oh, okay, we now have bullish bias because we've been our balance was transitioning downwards. Now our balance is transitioning upwards. Okay, so condition, right? We gauge condition based off of, are we in balance or out of balance? Why is this important? In balance, you have more rotational moves. You have more rotational moves inside the market. So the market doesn't shoot up in one direction or shoot down in one direction. It often bounces around within a range off of major levels, right? And so this is important for us to know, because if we're imbalanced, then that means that we should most likely be fading the market, right? We should be, when we see the uptrend and we see we're at that zone or that area, we should not necessarily, we should assume that, hey, the best probability of what's going to happen next in the market, or what's going to happen generally in the market today, is that we're going to keep bouncing in between these levels. So let me find my entries over there, right? In balance, you have more rotational moves in the market. Okay. Out of balance, the market pushes very hard in one direction, and this trend gives you more continuation than not, right? So these are built-in probabilities, right? On a balanced day, what's the probability that fading works, and on an imbalanced day, what's the probability that don't mind my notation works. Built-in probabilities. As you can see, 60 to 70% already built-in probabilities. 65 to 70%. And so here's where we get our signs. So this is what this is why I love to ask ChatGPT questions. It compiles all this data for me. And then what I usually do is I typically take this question and I ask Google, just to make sure I'm not getting cheated out. Yes. And so I just make sure that what I'm seeing from ChatGPT aligns with what's on Google, right? No, I do not want to copy that. And I'm going to decrease the size of this. So what I do, because this is the most important information to me, this is what's going to tell me, hey, these are the things I'm going to look for when I need to get... These are the things I'm going to look for when I need to figure out, hey, are we going to have a balanced day or a kind of a, you feel what I'm saying? There's something that part of right here. Yeah. All right. So there's that, right? Conditions. These conditions tell me, hey, this is what's going on with the market, XYZ. Oh, shit. And we're not going to finish this whole list. So, because we do have to trade the market today. So we're going to be very transparent about that. All right. Now, the importance of time. The importance of time is what? Okay. Importance of time. I kind of covered this yesterday in ChatGPT. Oh, this is earlier today. I asked, sorry, this is not about trading. It is about a show I'm watching. But, you know, I need ChatGPT to spoil my show sometimes for me. All right. Yes. Now this right here is important. All right. So this is important to me. Intraday timing patterns order flow traders look at. First 30 minutes of the session, we often observe it's the most volatile, the messiest large chop chicken, big liquidity grabs, pricing whip around before direction is clear, implication for fade. So right here, the importance of time to me is that when I'm trading, I don't want to have to guess. I want to minimize my guessing. I want my guessing to be at a minimum. And so in the first 30 minutes of the market, you can't really tell what the market is going to do. And again, I said that, hey, I'm not trying to predict the small incremental movements in the market. I'm trying to predict what is the market going to be doing for today? And then how do I get a part of that? So that's why I take the first 30 minutes and I've decided that I'm not going to trade that anymore, because in the spirit and in the nature of trying to figure out where exactly the market is going to go, I need to take a step back and actually look at the market, not just the overnight session. I need to look at the current market where most of the orders are placed. By the time that 10 o'clock happens, most market participants adjust their positions and show that they're pretty much done for the day. Let me see. Oh yeah, clean setups. Oh well. Where's my next objective? Oh, the 4-hour candle phenomena. I don't know how to spell that. Thank you. This is a phenomenon and a strategy that I've heard of, and I don't necessarily know its validity and its truth, but I put it here because I'm actually going to research it, and we'll do that in a recording and in a video. TBD, but from what I know, a 4-hour candle often offers that manipulation and then transfer to whatever that for open is at, which. All right, so, but just to briefly explain what I do understand about it, let's go on the 4-hour chart. We can delete this because I've already taken a look at that. And we can delete this. And we can delete this. But glad to know that we came. Wow. We came off of that untapped LVN. How beautiful. All right. So now. There's a lot to look at, a little bit. Sorry, y'all. And at 9:30, we're going to mark up the charts. So let's just do this. So yesterday, this day is yesterday, okay? Leading into October 1st. October 1st. Now we're on October 2nd. All right. This is the 10 o'clock candle of yesterday. Can you guess where all this downward move happened that came off of what we would call a low volume node, which is a very powerful structure and volume profile, which I will talk about maybe a little bit later if I have the time. Can you guess what time of the day this happened in, and then the major move that played into the uptrend that we're seeing in the market? When did all that happen? Do you want to guess? Didn't happen perfectly at 10 a.m. But for the first 30 minutes of the market, we're just in a straight dump. This is on the 15-minute time frame. Let me go to 5-minute. You get a little chop at the open. Market dumps. Then at about 10:20ish, this is 10 a.m. So at 10 a.m., for me, I'm like, okay, my bias is bullish. Yesterday I had a zone to tap off of that LVN zone, so I'm going to wait for us to come down there and then gauge and see if it's really going to be a drop down past like the gutters day. Then I have strategies for that. We get this good push out of there. And I'm an order flow trader, but I'm not going to get into order flow today. My poor P&Ls. But you see this rise? All this happened after about the first hour or so of the market, after that first dump. So it's very clear what the market's possibly going to do in terms of its bias, and that 4-hour candle is very important because the 4-hour encompasses a lot of what the market is doing. If the market's bouncing in between, then your 4-hour candle is going to have a huge wick here, and then very likely somewhere in the middle the closing price is going to be. So that's why that's important. Okay, just making sure we're good on time. All right, how the market moves. This is just my explanation. The market moves like an auction. The market moves like an auction when no one is willing to buy at higher prices. We sell. And when most, I won't say no one, when most are not. Are not willing to sell at lower prices, we buy. We have buyers, right? So the market, especially the futures market, you literally have institutions that their job is to provide liquidity in the market. Their job is to make sure that the market continues to move, that it does not stay stagnant. So that's very important. Oh shoot. All right. Is to make sure that the market moves, right? So you do have market makers that actually provide liquidity to the market. Those people do exist, but they don't necessarily hunt your stop loss. This is why order flow, OF, is very important, because order flow lets you see the orders and the liquidity and who's active in the market, who's really in control of the market, not just based off of the candlestick chart, but like down to the numbers. And then you can see almost the exact start of the change of transition, maybe on a short-term time frame, and then you have to combine all that with like larger time frame candles. So over a larger amount of time, so about 5 to 10 minutes of order flow reading to really gauge, like, hey, if I see this continue to happen and everything is aligning on a higher time frame, then okay, this is what's going to probably happen on a higher time frame, right? So this is how the market moves. Once we understand that, especially this specifically for me as an order flow trader, went to fade and continue. We really already kind of took that out, so I'm going to take that away. How to gauge price action for continuation fading. We already did this, but what I'm talking about is intraday price action. So intraday. It's often that you have a downtrend or uptrend intraday that you can fade. and it might be a balanced day, but you just have a very strong trend that developed. How do we fade this? This is mostly for fades. I feel like on a continuation day, you can really just tell that we're going to continue. So this is what we do. Structure price orders. Okay. And we already had ChatGPT do us a little bit of work on that. So now we just format all of this. And it's and people think that becoming a day trader is hard. No, it's not. You just need to have the right information to have it all mapped out for you to be able to take a look at. And a lot of people are like, oh, like in the speed of day trading, like if you want to make money, then you need to have these things very consistently placed out for you, and where we can actually. So now, how do we build biases in the trade? Let me just vet what ChatGPT says. Overlapping value inside previous range, weak says regular trends more likely, which is what we fade. Gap and go one time frame. POC migrating, strong trends more likely. Okay. Step 2 structure, the price run through structure, volume and CVD confirmation. So volume is very important, and CVD is delta. So I'll show you guys how to set all that up. Buyers lifting offers on uptrend. Yes, you gotta look for all that, and we can discuss all of that. Volume migration, POC shifting in trend direction, strong. POC stuck side balance. This and then the other. There we go. Oh yeah, all that seems good. Now, how do we build biases and trading plans? The way that I look at the market has to do with price structures like S and R. And volume profile structure with a 15-minute time frame. LVNs, PDLs, previous day lows, PDH, previous day high, ONL, ONH, overnight highs and overnight lows, POC, point of control, which is where price traded the most yesterday within a time frame or within a time frame, just in general. LVNs, low volume nodes, PDLs, and these places are important because liquidity sits around here. Liquidity sits at all these places because they're important price points. The high of yesterday, the low of yesterday, in the overnight session, the high of that, the low of that, the point of control where price traded the most. Obviously, there's the most liquidity and the most orders over there. LVNs are a little bit different because that's where, in the whole entire day, in the millions and millions of orders, price didn't really trade much over there. Price actually ran away from there, meaning that a lot of people were like, oh yeah, it's at this price. Oh, we don't care about that. We're going to keep it pushing in either direction. These areas mean that somebody really strong was just really eager to push price. And if you see that across a whole entire 4 to 8 hours, then it's like, okay, somebody really big was making sure that price did not interact in this range. So when price comes back to that place, we're going to assume that it's a springboard for price action because strong buyers, institutional buyers are there, so they leave their footprint on the market. That's what an LVM is. And I'll show you what that looks like visually. The way I look at the market, I strictly follow the bias of my 100 hourly EMA. I'm above or below, and let me go on TradingView to make sure I'm using the right EMAs and writing all this out. I'm literally giving you guys my full day trading strategy. Why is it 30? All right, now we're on the last two legs. Yeah, I submit at 10 o'clock. All right. So we're gonna have some good volatility. Okay. Oh, wait. So how to mark structure, I'm going to show you guys how to do that. And it's pretty much like ingrained into me. So I don't really feel like going about saying all that right now. But fundamental bias conditions. On top of balance and imbalance, you have good price action days and bad price action days. These days come from news that we anticipate or news data that we lag. Often drives the market. Shoot. Hmm. Now this is what I'm talking about on fundamental biases and conditions, but it's actually offered me some very important information that I've actually taken a look at before, which is our volatility index and the markets. You relearn a lot of stuff. I actually used to research the VIX. You can see it on right here, so I know exactly what TradingView is talking about here. I know exactly what TradingView is talking about. I mean, ChatGPT is talking about here. 15 to 20. Yes. Okay. Yes. All right. So with that, all that given information and the market opening in about 5 minutes, I'm gonna go take all this off, and we're gonna be balancing ourselves in between these 4 tabs. All right. So let's go ahead and do this. Let me just, I guess I can extend this. That's not really gonna be relevant. Let's hop to the hourly time frame. I'm gonna show you guys how I mark my structures. All right. I do this on Top Step. I've done this before on TradingView. I will say that these areas of price have become valuable to me. Valuable price areas. And then how much do you guys want to bet that? So right now the VIX is, what did ChatGPT say I should mark? We'll just take a look at all of that as we're going about the day. So first, let's focus on structure. This is structure. Now, let me go down to a 15-minute time frame, and we will start with a volume profile. Yeah, we'll work out volume profile first. 9:30. It's about the closing of the day. Okay. So we have we have a very good low volume node area right over here. And what that tells me is that if price comes down to this price point and we are continuing in an upward bias, then like the market is gonna keep pushing. We're still gonna have to wait until 10 a.m. So meaning that the market might dump down here, start to push up, and then we have to gauge price action and see if we want continuations. But a low volume area is where you have these peaks, right? And then you have these valleys. These valleys are what we call LVNs, and this is where where the market did not spend a lot of time transacting, but still pushing very far, as you can see. And we had a break and retest of this. We have a break of this level. I'm expecting a retest and a push in the macro. So this is aligning with an upward bias that we're in. We are also out of balance right now. Price is going to open out of balance, meaning that I'm expecting us to continue in the trend that we are in. I need to edit my EMA. Give me another EMA. Right? Am I using EMAs? Is that what I did? Yes, EMAs. All right, plot this as red. We'll go 100. I don't want you on the chart. No. Well, I guess it's just what's gonna have to do. Or if I take an MA, I can make this an MA. Oh, this sucks. Market's pushing higher at the open. Well, close to open. Sorry, LS. Oh, 30. We'll just have to reference what we see over here. Too much. Woo! Yeah. Told you guys about the upward bias. All right, and this is technically are also in an area of balance in the market where you are pushing off. That's what I have marked on TradingView. Still early to call what it's going to be. So next, what we're going to do while the market is doing its thing, we're going to go ahead and mark out a couple of structures. And I already have these things. Value area high. And the value area is just where the market spent 70% of its time transacting volume. And this is important because it's kind of like a standard deviation kind of deal. There's just a lot to explain, which is why these videos are going to be so long and so very more so leaning educational, I could say. Now, what else do we need to do? And then this is where we get very, very, very spicy, because we have a lot of confluences. And what this tells me is that we're in a very strong uptrend. All this movement and structure tells me that we're in a very, very strong uptrend, because we're opening very far outside of balance. We have 10 AM news, meaning that anything that we see right now, we should not be trading. But you see this perfect shot up off of this level that I already had previously marked right over here. So that's beautiful. But it's too early to even think about placing a trade, because there's no structure built for the day. So we're marking our overnight lows, overnight highs, and then we have a couple other things to mark out. That's beautiful. It's about a 10-point transition, if you could catch anything, which you honestly probably cannot. Overnight high. So we're already taking out the overnight highs. And then an ICT trader would be like, oh, we're taking out the overnight highs, that liquidity. We took out London high or this. No, it's just overnight high. All right. So for a second, I'm going to move this. No, I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't do that at all. It looks complicated because it is kind of complicated. All right, so what I do is I take the volume profile of 9:30 to about the closing of the day, so around 5 o'clock-ish, that candle and whatnot. And I look at, hey, do I see any low volume nodes? I mark out the value area high, value area low. I did that backwards. I mark out the previous POC. And then what I do is I transition to mark the overnight low and the overnight high. These are places where liquidity rests again, and these are very important price anchors, so I mark them out just so I can have a reference to you see how we're out of the value area, we're over above the POC, and the POC was very high on the day. That means that value is migrating upward, meaning that we're probably in an uptrend, and that's confirmed with all my EMAs. And so when I see my structures, I'm going to assume, hey, the best direction to go in is up. Right now we're trading into this kind of no man's land. And what I'm actually going to do is take this off for a second and see, do we have a major low volume node and where we're trying to transact at? That'll be a more, geez Louise, we have major ones. Everywhere where price is in right now is a major low volume node that we have not tapped, that we've only tapped once. But I will say that most of it is down here. Like, do you see how thin the volume is there? And there's a good amount of it that's up here. So what I'll do is I'll place a nice little line in the middle of that, just to kind of give me a reference point. I don't feel like drawing that rectangle all the way up. What I'll also do is I will edit this and call it a one tap LVN. How many times an LVN it's tapped is very important. If we get price to clear this and then we get a retest of that on like the 5 minute, that would be beautiful. But yes, price is running through these price structures. And originally I would be like, okay, like we're coming to a level, so I'm gonna look for a fade. No, I'm not gonna look for a fade. I'm gonna look for a continuation of this. This is a very strong uptrend. We're out of value area, so that helps me set my buys for the day. It's not, oh, highs and lows, and yes, that can work, but this is backed by actual data and statistics. So that's how I mark up my structures, and that's how I kind of build a bias. The last thing that I do, and this might not even be necessary because of what we've already seen on ChatGPT, is I go to about 8 a.m. and I just mark out everything to 9:30. Well, before 9:30, sorry. Cool. And I see, are there any low volume nodes? There's a low volume node right here, but we already ran through it, so it's invalid to me. And therefore, our bias is upward. I'm assuming that we're either going to, around the 10 a.m. news, start to de-risk and come back down over here where all this order flow was built, and then push off of there. We have a very strong order flow, like a very clearly very strong order flow off of here. Or we could even come back through this LVN and see another reap. At about 10 a.m. I'll plot the intraday volume profile so that I can see, hey, like with this move, is there anything that's going to give me continuation? Because like I'm fully bullish for today. I'm like, this is like bull galore. And then our target might be here. Our target might even be here. Just depends. But we are full steam bullish. Full steam, babe. All right. So I'm not really worried about price running away from me. You can cry about that in your own spare time. I'm going to use one RTY contract only because I am still trying to solidify all my thoughts about this process. But it looks like we have a very strong day on our hands. It looks beautiful. We're far above this. What's the RTY doing? Interesting enough. Let me make sure. Risk on trends are cleaner. Yep. Here we go. There we go. So You need to, for the VIX, you need to see divergence. If you don't see divergence, then your trend that you're trying to trade or that you might be trying to continue might be in a bit of trouble. But we're seeing divergence as the market is pushing up. We're pushing lower. ES is pushing up and the VIX is pushing lower. NQ is pushing up and the VIX is pushing lower. So that's good for us. And we're above the 15, so we're staying pretty well above it. Beautiful pushes. We are not even 10 minutes into market open, and this is what we're already doing. And so somebody's like, oh my God, I missed a good trade. There's hours left in the market today. And all this tells me is that we're going to set up some really nice continuation moves. Or moves to the upside, or fade moves to the upside. So I'm not very worried about it. And this is the transition from being intraday price action where it's like, oh my God, pullback. Launch up for 8 points, taking how much risk? Well, even less than 8 points, really 5 points, to take on 3 points of risk on something where you could get more like a 1 to 3 or 1 to 4 RR if you just wait for the actual like price action later on in the day, because we have 10 a.m. news that's going to come in and you see this reversal. You didn't even hit full target if that's what you were targeting. Like, you don't do that to yourself. Be patient. And I'm saying this to myself because I'm not the great at executing that as well. So you have that opening drive, and this is everything that we talked about in here. Overnight price opens outside of priority and drives hard in one direction at the open. This is just a sign that we're in balance. We're running through key structures. We ran through this without hesitation. We even ran through it, retested it, and shot off of it. CBD, it trends steadily with price. So now I come over here. I go to this layout. Open anyway. Now I gotta look at CBD. Give me a 5-minute CBD. Hello, give me the CBD. I don't know why it's being like this. But I can take away this MACD because I don't need this indicator. Hello. Okay, there we go. CBD is pushing very high. If I take the 3-minute CBD, I guess it just takes a while for the markets to aggregate that data, or for TradingView to aggregate that data. So, as you can see, continuation moves are going to be our play. And so then this is where I'm thinking, okay, now's the time to start marking out continuation structure, especially around the 10 a.m., 9:45 kind of range. I want to be a little bit patient and wait. We have some CBD divergence, but you can expect the market to push from here, especially if we're going to defend this low. But I am actually expecting a more broader pullback because the market should not run. It would be very inefficient of the market, or we might just have to be here for a while and wait for us to come back down to efficiencies. Forex Factory, I like to do a little bit of research on what exact news is coming out. Why is the ISM services important in futures? Measure load of manufacturers. It's a leading indicator of economic health. Server about 300%, which asks. Oh, boy. That change of protection levels. Released on the first business day of each month. So this is supposed to be released yesterday. So what news do we have on Monday? Because there's a government shutdown that's actually stopping the news that we get. Oh, this is terrible. This is terrible. Oof. Boy, this is bad. Okay. It's almost 10 a.m. though. Okay, I'm getting a little bored, but basically I understand. And we can't be lovers. We can't be. And then, okay, we'll continue on. So my other thing is that, like, previously, it'll be like, oh, I made 750 at the market open. But how often is the market open this clean and drives this hard? Like, it happens. And maybe you can trade that with conviction. But then it's like, dude, there's the same risk for 8 to 12 points. And I'm thinking about 3 contracts on RTO. It's 1,200. You just gotta be patient. So that's that. It's past 9:45, so I feel like we can mark the first 15-minute volume profile. Probably better if we did this on TradingView, because there's no indicators on the way. So no indicators in it. Being slow. Yes, thank you. All right. Let's see. I hate the opacity, but okay. Alright. Low volume node here. Damn near low volume node here, and one right here. So I guess we can mark them out because the market did bounce off of this. This one, I'm not very sure of, because it is in the height of the distribution. Oh, I'm struggling. So now we're going to transfer these over. So I have 1, basically engulfing that whole thing. 4-8 to 4-2, 4-8 to 4-2, 4-8 to 4-2, 4-8 to 4-2. And then I'll expand that later, just give me a second. 4-8 to 4-2. 2-4. So line at 2-4. There's one at 2-4, and then there's another one in this range right here. Oh, 1 to 8-6. Alright. Now that we have all our lovely stuff marked out, I'm gonna make this red. This one I'm not gonna move. I'm gonna extend this. Gonna extend this one as well. I'm gonna mark this as my marker open LVN. And there you go. And so, like, you can see that the market tested this LVN right here and shot up off of it intraday. And this LVN was developed previously, and I can prove it to you, just so that you know. Very low volume, you see? Very low volume in this area. Taps it, and then we start to distribute more, and it stays low volume. It's valid to me. Now let me take a look at this again. Let me shrink that back down again. Okay, the area marked, I could also consider a low volume node, I suppose. So this is microstructure, and that's what I was previously doing, which was, oh my god, like there's a LVN in the 3 minutes. I'm gonna take a continuation off of that, and it's a balance day, and it's not off of a major level. And so it's like, you gotta stop being so micro tuned in. So now we wait. And my trading plan again is to continue. We can come off of any of these targets right here. I'll be taking longs off of those, so there should be about 3 possible trades. I'm not really looking to fade, so if nothing's telling me to go long, then I won't go long. Let me go ahead and boot this up. Let me go ahead and boot up my Bookmap. I'm not gonna get into Bookmap. I'm not even gonna show it on my thing, because I actually should not be as tuned into Bookmap as that, and neither should you guys. Bookmap is a good tool if you're trading microstructure. Cancel. And I will just give you guys a glimpse of why we're not gonna look at Bookmap today, but I'm gonna put it over my over on this monitor here. Yeah, that's what your market actually looks like. Or this is a visual representation of what the stock market actually looks like. Why am I getting a data delay? Why? Hello. Okay. So you have this rally upward. And that looks like this on your chart. Alright, I'm going to bring this over to the side, slide to the left. Oh no, all my screenshots. I'm going to minimize this. Market delay for 4 seconds. Sorry, you guys are just seeing all my screenshots right now. Okay. Ooh, no. I don't want to delay. Why have you been doing this? Alright. But the market's pushing up. My bookmap is delaying for about 15 seconds, so that's a bit frustrating because we have a news release in a couple minutes. Let me see if I can try to fix this. Alright, open back up. Don't delay me. This screenshot is like very embarrassing, but it is what it is. I'm not even asking you to do nothing for real. Just bring in my data and we'll be cool. I'm about to unsubscribe from this bookmap junk, bro. It's not cool. We don't do data delays. I thought we were better than this. Well, bookmap is telling me that it doesn't love me anymore. My computer's working very hard too. I wonder if that's the case. Low volume node right here. $3.7 down to 2, down to about 3.7, 1.6. That's what I said, right? Am I running this too hard? Maybe y'all can tell right now. Am I running my computer too hard? I might be. I can hear it blow it. Alright. Well, for now. Don't do this. Connection's lost. Connection restored. Ah, we're back. My bookmap is back. Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. Alright. Completely disrespecting this LVN in my personal opinion. Transacting in it. Oh, man. A lot of this day trading stuff is just waiting. It's just waiting. that 10 a.m. news is gonna offer. I'm really thinking that we're gonna have a bit of a muted reaction for a little bit, and then it like really pops in.
Transform. Decepticons.
Decepticons now!
Transform. That was the whole process. Oh my gosh.
10 a.m. news came out. This Elvian was disrespected. Is there any more low volume nodes that I'm missing? No, you're just tapping the RFPOC. The value is migrating upwards. There's a lot of cross analysis that you do. Can we aggregate? Okay. Yeah, this low volume node, I feel like is being invalidated currently. I'm gonna take that away because it wasn't respected. I'm gonna widen the range of this one just a smidge bit and extend it because it's maturing now. So remember, the bias is long. That's what we're getting from the market. What I see, bro, why do I have a delay? What I'm seeing previously from the downtrend that we're ensuing right now is that we have a lot of offers stacking over. Y'all, I'm about delayed for dang near a full minute or now. What is going on? Yo, this is bad. I'm not getting any data on the market, and I actually kind of need that. Keyboard shortcuts, beta program. Bookmap data. What's going on? I'm delayed for about a full minute now. This is not good. I'm gonna refresh my bookmap. There we go. We're actually in real time now again. Yeah, got a lot of bids sitting here at the 97s. Like we're getting close. I'm seeing order flow starting to flip. You see? 96.7 is the top of this. You can't really see it because of the other candles, but there's a lot of liquidity here on the book map. But there's also stacked orders on top. There we go. Yeah, that's why you don't take that trade yet. There's a lot of stacked orders. Lots of stacked orders. And I don't quite see the market pushing. Thank God we got our data back. So, right now this LVN is kind of holding, but it looks like we're going to actually push through it. I don't see, yeah. What did I say? We're going to start pushing deeper into this LVN from what I see now. Not now, but like, at least a little concerning. It's possible that we're starting to establish a balance in the market. This is where I go ahead and look at other asset classes. Or do we start to rise from here? Do we? Other asset classes are moving. Very intriguing. But we're starting to rally. It's hard for me because I don't see price following. Well, I don't see bids following. Well, what do you think, guys? I want to see price structure come under this. This could very well just be another rejection. Or am I just being too picky? Well, I'm thinking that this is a trade that we go on. I'm seeing a good rejection out of this LVN. And it's being sustained. I want to wait for a little bit of a pullback.
Order filled.
Alright, we're in target. It's going to be right about there. We are definitely going to have a pullback. We're already up a good amount. As you can see, the market's actually pushing. We could have been in a very long time ago, and we're very well on our way to profit. My stop is at the 94s. And I put my stop a couple of points up. to worry about here. Why am I taking this trade? It's a continuation trade off of one of these LVNs. That's our setup. I'm not expecting the market to like instantly shoot up. I'm expecting, since we have an upward bias, for a market to start defending price. And so this is what I would typically wait for, right? A pullback, and then to see the legitimacy of the bids defend the market. And that's what I was saying that I don't necessarily see. But now I'm seeing it happen now, so I'm a little bit more comfortable holding this trade. Yeah. To me, this is a valid rejection. We could get continuation lower, and then we get stopped out for about 300, and then we have about another trade left today. So this is for me where I start to watch everything else and start to gauge my trade, because we're in a diverging kind of, aren't we, guys? I really want to say that this is the point where we start. We're rallying. Starting to rally. It gets a little scary, you know? Now we're coming off of the same point we kind of came off of before. Seeing some passive orders being active at the bids here. I really would have been happy if I got a better fill, but they're moving a lot. Let me see what the volume profile is saying for this day so far, because we have a lot of delta building, and we might get a delta divergence because we're actually pushing through on here. All right, let me remove all this. Price is kind of lingering, and it's not necessarily what I want it to do. Alright, am I gonna see a failure here? Am I? I'm getting mixed signals from the market right now, except that we're getting some good movement and momentum off of this. Price just seems to be struggling a little bit. I'm expecting the bids at 2501 because there's a lot of, not bids, ask, a lot of limit sells. And it's actually being spoofed, and I think that we have some really strong absorption there. What's my volume profile saying? Coming straight off of the POC. POC's been migrating up as well. And volume's lingering here and not really rejecting. I'm seeing a lot of CVD come in. And CVD is actually slowly building. So this, and we got a validation of buyers below. So for me, like, again, order flow just shows you what's happening short term. So it's easy to get spooked by it. It's easy to like feel like you have a reason to exit. This is why I'm de-risking myself down to one contract, because while I do appreciate making a good amount of profit, I also understand I need to be patient. My idea becomes invalid. Oh yeah, we should get a good push from here, idealistically. Looking at the book map, there we go. What did I say? What did I say? We're getting good. We're getting something here. It's a little concerning for me. Just a smidge bit. But the market does need to breathe. I'm gonna bring my original target back. Oh boy. We had a good pullback. Bids are very active. I don't like that we're continuing lower here. 5 minute. Let me get my Cuban split up. No doubt. But we have a lot of active bids defending price. Let me go back on here before it was some bull crap. Price is very far. I feel like it's a great pullback. And then I shot up, in my opinion. If we go on our 15-minute time frame. You know, you can feel like this is a good fade. Somebody could be like, yeah, this is a perfect fade. And actually, before I would actually fade this. But what it takes is a lot of liquidity. And you can see that the market is not really having any vicious pushes or moves down. It's actually developing a case for bullish order flow. And we're getting some strong buyers I'm seeing here on order flow. And this is a good sign to me. We're actually running through that liquidity right now. Like I'm seeing the liquidity being ran through right now. And we're bidding higher. How's my VIX looking? Trust me that if we break over the 502.3s, that's where I'll start thinking about moving my stop, only because that's where all this liquidity is at. Where all these major bids are at. Let me see if I can see anything else that I'm seeing. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's a lot of liquidity. Oh, okay, there we go. There we go. Can we see a push? Because we should be pushing from here. Yep. Yep. Ooh, yes. A lot of people are being put in pain in this range right now. And I have a lot of orders. Yep. 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 Dang. There's a lot of activity. A lot of defense here. Jeez. Gonna de-risk myself. Just a little bit. We've cleared that liquidity. We've cleared that liquidity. We have cleared the liquidity. I repeat, we have cleared the liquidity. Feel good about this. 497. We have cleared the liquidity. What did I say, guys? We have cleared the liquidity. What did I say? What did I say? We're gonna have a push above the 502 for threes. And it's not prediction that we're gonna have a little bit of trouble at the 506s. I guarantee you that. 506 is where we might need to call this a day and wrap it up. And wrap it up. But I'm in this trade. I'm in there. It's a continuation day, very clean setup. We could have actually had our trade at the 97s and had so much less risk. And that would have been so good. I would have actually put on 2 contracts. But that's just not the boy style. We have so much. Yeah, we're gonna get a push above here. I think we're gonna get a push above here. If we have so much stack liquidity at the bottom, that's defending price. Oh my God, it's beautiful. A grown man could cry. A grown man could cry. Price is gonna struggle a little bit. We might even get a major pullback, bringing us down into this range. So this is where I start to monitor the trade and think about how liquidity is moving. Moving my stops to 497 and de-risking myself. And so then this becomes the trade. And where do we get in at? We got in right here. We can just call that what it is. And then this is where I start to plot. Oh my God. Beautiful liquidity. Beautiful. My beautiful liquidity. Liquidity. You are so good to me. Good to me. Good to me. Beautiful liquidity. 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 You are so good to me. Good to me. Good to me. This is going to take a while. This trade is going to take a while. I promise you that. I can guarantee you that. I double dong ding dong diddy. Excuse me? Excuse me, sir? Reclaim. Yeah. I'm having an issue with the fact that there's a large seller present, and if we break this liquidity, then I'm very well out of this trade, in my personal opinion. Things get tricky and things don't always work out, and then but I'll also be very mad at myself if we end up having a monster trade that ensues from here, and I just did not hold my trade. And we're risking about 150 from now. I like this. Now, can we see ourselves rearm with liquidity, please? On the buy side, a lot of deltas winning over here. So I like Bookmap a lot. But I'm thinking, for me personally, that look at other order flow tools like Sierra Charge, but Sierra Charge is so archaic. Good defense. Sierra Charge is so archaic. Oh my God! Don't play with them. Don't play with them. Don't play with them. Let's not play, guys. Let's not play. But I'm also thinking Sierra charts. I'm thinking deep charts, which comes out in November. But I need to make some money. So before I'll be like, why didn't my fade work out? We were at a level, we had a line. And yes, it was a strong trend, but the EMA crossed and we should have crossed. You see, this is why we don't close the trade, because this is why Bookmap is important to know what exactly is going on. We should have closed. We should have been continuing lower, and now the market is moving higher without me, and now I'm wrong, and now I'm gonna enter here because we reclaimed, and now I have all this risk all the way down here. I have 6 points of risk, and if I want to have 2 contracts, that's 600 points of risk. That used to be me, bro. Still is me sometimes. It's not smart. It's not smart to chase the market. All these patterns, these candlestick patterns that I'm seeing are really good, showing that passive buyers are in control. Wow. Fighting in the dining hall. Guys, what's going on? Why are we fighting on the Kennesaw? Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Fighting on the Kennesaw dining hall. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. We're going to break. We're going to break. I promise you we're going to break. I'm looking at the liquidity right now. We're going to break it. There's delta divergence. Oh, let's go look at the VIX. Let's go look at the VIX. Let's go look at the VIX just to make sure. Is our trend in trouble? No, it's not. Yip, yip, yip. Hooray. Yip, yip, yip. Hooray. I'm not worried right now, but I'm not too comfortable. I'm not too comfortable, but I'm not worried. And actually, with all this testing and with all this liquidity developing, we have 100. Like, so much buying up here. The only way that I really tell myself I'm getting out is if I see a really huge seller and they get followed. We're actually going to move us up. Move up a little bit. Put your back into it. Put your back into it. Put your back into it. 96. 98. Alright. Because I'm in this position, this is about a good stop for me. Thing is that I don't want to be too tight on my stop. Don't want to be too tight on my stop. I don't like that. What did I say, guys? And the liquidity is proving itself to be true. The reason I try, God gave me an angel. You are the best in the world, a beautiful girl. God gave me an angel. You are. If you guys can tell, I'm a fabulous singer. Volume is building perfectly. Oh my god, this is so good. This is so good. And as you guys can tell, I'm a very unemotional trader. I'm very stoic when I trade. Now, This is where things are gonna get serious. We have major liquidity at the 5/10s. We have major liquidity at the 507s that we are currently running through. Is this the dagger? Is this the dagger? If I bring this down here, I make about 450, which is cool. But I have balls today. This is the target. Well, the target's actually right here. I'm gonna go fully break even. We're literally edging TP. We're literally edging TP. And we're right there. I know we're right there. We're actually going to touch it too. We're actually going to tickle pickle. We're going to tickle little pickles.
Order filled.
Woo-wee! 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 All right. Guys, you can lose 1,000. And now, remember, okay, let me just cover this. Let me just cover this real quick. Number of trades. My least profitable day was, oh my God, we're pushing even higher. But I'm already out of the trade, so it's good. So we actually went up to the 5/10s. That's what I was talking about. I'm looking at the liquidity right now. So on Thursday I had 11 trades and I lost $1,000, right? Today, how many trades do we have today, guys? We had one trade, we made 400. And so like that's the thing for me is like, you know, I see myself like very frequently and very often. I see myself very frequently and very often placing a lot of trades, not having a lot of quality, and it just never works out for me. But like as you can see, this is just working out beautifully. This is just working out perfectly. And you know, this is why you don't close that count when you possibly blew it. And so like, okay, now I have to go back, even though I did a good thing, I have to go back and be like, okay, my original risk is about 6 points, right? 300 to make 600. But I closed it out for 400, and I ended up de-risking myself to about 150, so it's still about a 3-to-1 ratio. My entry could have been a lot easier, and this could have actually been our target. We would have made 600. I could have also added on another position, and we would have been up about 800. And so that's where I have to be like, okay, I did a good trade. How do I make it better? We saw that we were coming out, and I saw a lot of order flow. I saw a lot of bids stacking, but I still waited for my confirmation. What was going to make me confident in looking at the market. When did this happen? This literally happened again around 10:05. What did we talk about before, guys? What did we talk about before? Answer the question. Answer Samuel's question. Oh, Samuel, we talked about how at around 10 o'clock, that's when the market starts to do its thing. Yes, that's exactly what we talked about. Thank you for answering my question. Are we pushing higher? Thank you for answering my question. Because that's the start of that 4-hour candle, and then you can just assume. Look at this beautiful 4-hour candle off of the LVN. Oh my God, aligned with the bias too. Oh my God, that's so beautiful. So beautiful. Oh, so then this word makes me think. Observe something. Does the previous 4-hour help set that 10 a.m. and beyond bias? look at your most recent trading day. And then just to tell you how amazing what we just did. How often do you see an yes. 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 And so this is where you want to, again, grasp and look at. Oh my God, look what he's building. You're going to like shoot up to the 12s. You're actually going to hit my target too. But we actually hit a little bit before target, which is okay. We're at a 4-hour high right now. And the market has just been in a straight ladder. Fire! Alright. Yeah, putting my stops any higher, that would not have been smart. VIX is coming down. ES is rallying. NQ is lagging behind today a lot. But still upward bias. Alright guys, that is the end of the video. Let's see how long this video was, guys. The video has been 1 hour and 48 minutes long. I just called out 8 points on the market. I'm thinking make a Discord live stream. Just need a PC. If anybody would love to hand a poor day trader a PC, that would be fabulous. I actually need to talk to my brother about fixing the PC that I have. The market is pushing. This is exactly what we talked about. I literally just went through like formally creating a trade model and developing it for you all. How long did this trade take? This trade took within 10 to... How long was trade duration today? Come on, guys. Talk to me. Talk. How long was this trade? We can just check over here. I'm being slow. This trade was for about 22 minutes. We were very patient. And with Bookmap, again, you analyze the liquidity. I think I really want to know the charts. Hey, yo. I'm gonna sign up for deep charts right now. That was a little sus. I'm sorry, guys. I am in order flow trader, currently using Bookmap, but I've been following Andrea Sibi and Fabio Valentini and I love their content and how chart is all encompassing. All right. All right, guys. It has been a fabulous time with you guys. Yes, there's my email. There's my emails. Sorry. Don't mind all that. Dog. Don't do this. Deep tartas. Deep chartas. Stop, bro. Did I just get scammed? No. I did just get scammed, guys. Sorry, guys. I just got scammed, yo. That's not actually my phone number, guys. Sorry, let me put my actual phone number. There we go. Yeah, I already know the basic order flow. Yeah, great. So guys, don't forget to smile. Caught at 8.4 points today on the market. Best believe that I probably will be using 2 contracts the next time that I see you guys. I was originally using 3 contracts, running a 2 or 3 point stop loss. Don't forget to smile. Don't forget to smile. Don't forget to smile. Love you guys. See you guys on the next video. We're actually shooting 25.13 currently, so our target would have gotten hit, but there's no way to actually predict that. This was our target, and it did get hit, and we took profits 2 points early, about 100 points early. So I actually feel very good about that today, guys. We did good. Instagram, possibly Discord link. Well, not Discord link yet. I'll probably be on the next video. But just stay tuned for the next videos, guys, because it should have been close this, I'm not gonna lie.